What in the world are we doing with hay bales in the middle of our pasture? Find out on today's video. Still got one tree out there holding on to its leaves. I've been homesteading for over a decade at this point, and what we have learned through the years is as soon as winter starts to show its teeth, what you do now can save hours of labor and time during the colder months of winter. And it will also save you headaches and aggravation the following spring as well. So come along with us today as we go through our winter prep list for getting our homestead ready for the winter months. On this video today, we will be winterizing our pasture irrigation system. We will be preparing the barn for livestock, and we will be working in the garden to help to start cleaning up from this season and getting it ready for next season. All that and more today on Homestead Citadel. Alright, about an hour later, I have 10 bales set up for bale grazing. What I'll do is I will tip each one on its end and then cut the netting off and feed out of that. What I've found is we get about an extra day's worth of grazing, of feed value, if we bale graze in one spot compared to unrolling the bale. We get about 1 day less if we unroll. So I just go around and set them up ahead of time, so that makes it a lot easier. This gives me about 3 weeks of feed for our cows, and then I just set them in spots where I think we need nutrients. So back here, anywhere that I see sedge grass, I go ahead and hit hard with bale grazing. So that's why this area is concentrated with bales. The sedge grass came in after we tried an experiment with pasture pigs that ended up rooting up our pasture and letting the sedge grass come in. So this is all good. By comparison, if we had waited for colder weather and did one bale at a time, that takes me about 30 minutes every like 2 to 3 days for feeding, whereas this is now ready to go giving me, like I said, 3 weeks of grazing at this point. One thing I didn't mention with bale grazing and storing bales outside and everything like that, I'm not worried about hay spoilage or anything like that, because our goal for winter feeding has always been focused on feeding our soil and improving our pasture. So nothing is wasted, even though, from a feed value it might be wasted. It doesn't bother us one bit, because like I said, our goal is to invest in future years and improve the pasture. So nothing is wasted, even if it looks like the feed value is garbage or whatever. The cows eat it, and they'll leave behind stuff regardless. So
next on my list is draining the irrigation system for the pastures. I learned this lesson the hard way. I've had a burst pipe that I've had to dig up and repair in the spring a few years ago. I shut off the solar power controller, open all the drain valves at the low points of each irrigation line, and I pull the well pump for good measure, even though this spring pond has never frozen.
with the time change occurring this weekend, I realized it's important for me to spend some time here this weekend setting up my pasture breaks throughout this front field for the week. So I need to get on that so that I don't have to do so much in the dark when I get home from work. Alright, about 30 minutes of work and I have the field broken up into about 8 different pasture breaks. We're going to be doing a barn clean out. I hate doing them because it feels like such a waste of time, but I love the end result. Nice clean barn. Looks like the cows were in here when I came up this morning, but it looks like they're willing to cooperate with me, so they have departed back to the pasture. Clean up some of this outside cement area and then all in here throughout the barn. We use a sawdust mixture, or a sawdust base I should say, and then it gets mixed with the manure and it makes a fantastic finished product that is very easy to clean out with the tractor and some shovels and such. So let's get started. barn clean out is now finished. Pretty good. This afternoon I'm going over to my woodworking contact and picking up a load of sawdust, so it'll get freshened up in here this afternoon. So let's keep moving.
We're removing some strawberry plants from our tunnels. We are getting them out of the tunnels because we haven't had much success with growing strawberries in our tunnels.
A rake?
That's a rake. Are you dragging the hose to mommy?
Mama do. Daddy do.
All loaded up. One full bag, IBC tote bag of sawdust. Visiting my woodworker friend here. He's kind of my canary to tell me how, the economy and the market is doing, because he does woodworking for like new home construction, doing like moldings and stuff for cabinetry, or just doing cabinetry as well. But I think he's primarily doing moldings. So it's always interesting to see whether or not he's been really busy or if things are kind of slow for his business. But sounds like this summer things were starting to pick back up for him. I think that's good enough for cows. They have a tendency to spread it out on their own, dragging their feet. I don't go too far towards the exit or towards the water. They'll smooth that out on their own. They like to lay down in this spot anyway, I think because of the cross breeze between the doors. Although, that is whenever they lay in here. They don't actually spend very much time in here, which is good. I prefer them being out in the pasture, so barn cleanup is finished. Being that we're still in shoulder season for the cold weather, we have a tendency to turn the heater in the Ritchie on and off as needed. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it on because we have 2 nights in the 20s coming up starting tonight. And all we do is flip a light switch for that. There's heaters in the bottom, and then it also has a like a heat tape that wraps around the water line that comes up out of the ground. So those are the things that we tackle before winter sets in. We find that doing some of these tasks now when the weather's still nice, it saves us a lot of time and effort later when things cool off, or helps us get a jump start next spring, specifically there in the garden. But I'd be interested to know if you think I missed anything, if you see any improvements for areas that I've covered here today. I'm always interested in hearing what other homesteaders are doing. So let us know down in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one.